Oh, never mind.
Good morning, Unity Renaissance. How are you today?
Good morning.
Good, old bright shining faces here on this lovely summer's day. I'm Christopher Naught. My name is Christopher Naught. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. I'll be sharing the dais with the incredible, inimitable Dr. Heidi Colbert today. It's been great today. And of course, Unity is positive, practical.
Progressive.
Like I wouldn't know that. Progressive Christianity, we definitely follow the way of our way show of Jesus Christ, but are open to all the great mystical languages and names of all the great religions in the world. So unity is here for us. We are here for unity. And so let's go ahead and just take a moment. We're going to go into prayer first, and then we'll go ahead and do our affirmations if that's okay. So let's just close our eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. And let's just be present. We are here, our feet are on the ground. We are here in spirit. We are here in physicality. We are here today to learn, to love, to share, and to grow. And we know who we are. Amen. And of course, Unity Renaissance always stands on its vision and its mission statement. So why don't we say our mission statement together, please? A spiritually awakened world, living in peace, love, and joy. And our mission is we transform lives that transform the world. Now today we have a very special speaker. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was finishing up my book that's just come out, and there was a gap because I was talking about American spirituality, and I really wanted to dig deep into indigenous Native American spirituality. And someone handed me a book. It's called Original Politics, Making America Safer Again. Didn't even know I was looking for that book. And I just dove in, and I loved it. So I became kind of a fan at first. It's like, whoa, this is really amazing stuff. Well, that gentleman who wrote that book is going to be speaking today. Glenn Aparicio Parry is our guest speaker. He'll also be doing a workshop after today's service. Glenn is a Nautilus Award-winning author. He's written several books. Original Thinking, the book I just mentioned, Original Politics, Making America Sacred Again, which again we conducted a class on that He's got a third one coming out in the series, The Version of Love. Glenn is a teacher, he's an educator, he's a speaker. I can't give you his entire resume. We'd be here all day. But glad to have Glenn. And with that, I'm going to turn back to the amazing music team.
All right, let's get on up. Let's get on. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go. 2, 3, 4. We come together in the name of love. You feeling it? Say yeah.
Take a look at the person next to you. Yeah, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Look at the person next to you. Say, I love you and I love you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Every walk of life. Every creed and color. Friendship we unite. In honor of the God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I'ma say I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Ladies and gentlemen, with our remarks. We're ready to turn and complete our day. Let them know you appreciate the leader and repeat to them the wedding salute. The divine in me, the priest, the divine in you, as we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God. Yeah. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Wow, what incredible energy. So I hope you out there in TV land virtually are getting it, because man, in here it is exploding and it is awesome. Thank you to our amazing music team. Hi everybody, I'm Heidi Hilbert and I am a joy-filled, enthusiastic member of Unity Renaissance. And it is awesome to be here. Seriously, I'm just like, woo! So, looking at the daily word, our word for today is renewed.
Affirmation together. I am restored by the Spirit of God within me. Renewal is a part of the rhythm of daily life. Eating and drinking to my body, resting to quiet my mind, and sleeping after a day of activity are all ways to renew myself. But sometimes those efforts aren't quite enough to sustain me. At times when I feel drained at depth, I may need spiritual renewal. God, the one presence and power, is with me always, but it's up to me to keep my awareness of God strong. When I awaken, I say a prayer of blessing for what the day has, what the day will bring. Throughout the day, I feel God's presence all around me. When I prepare for sleep, I say a prayer of gratitude for all the day has brought. In God, I am renewed moment by moment, day by day. Our scripture verse is inspired by 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18. We look not at what can be seen, but at what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal. If you'd like prayer support today, we have a multitude of different ways in which you can get it. You can fill out a prayer request form at the prayer table right next to the chapel if you're here, or go online and fill out a prayer request form at the website unityrenaissance.org. You can also 24/7, you can call Silent Unity's prayer line. I believe that's one. I have to cheat and look at this one. I don't know this by heart yet. 816-969-2000. Or if you're here, in person today, you can meet with one of the prayer chaplains after the service. Would the prayer chaplains please stand up? Thank you both. And they will be available in the chapel, which is right outside the sanctuary, past the bookstore, for inspiration, for sharing, for encouragement, for blessings. So thank you both for being here. And would everybody please stand and join in the Lord's Psalm?
Holy Creator, we praise your name, your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
your will in heaven,
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
supply our needs.
And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
For all the kingdom, power and praise, with you began and with you stays. Amen. 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 Please be seated.
song about our interconnectedness. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys ready?
To our seat beside the aisle. The preacher started talking, and everybody leaned in close. He said, there is a light through this world when we need it the most. And there is a way through this world if you keep this in mind. No one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind. No one gets to heaven if anyone is lost along the way. And it's so easy to doubt it, so now let us join hands and pray. We'll meet on that beautiful shore in that sweet by and by. 'Cause no one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind. Then we sang Rock of Ages like we'd been to that place. We sang Peace in the Valley, Lord, we sang I'll Fly Away. When we raised up our voices, it sounded like angels on high, singing, no one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind. Oh, no one gets to heaven if anyone is lost along the way.
Lost along the way.
And it's so easy to doubt it, so now let us join hands and pray. Oh, we'll meet on that beautiful shore and that sweet by and by. 'Cause no one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind. We'll meet on that beautiful shore in that sweet by and by. 'Cause no one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind. 'Cause no one gets to heaven if anybody else is left behind.
We all go together or not at all. Look at the person next to you and say, well, I'm going. I'm not going if you're not going. That's Boy Black.
Wow, what energy in here. Thank you very much. Oh my God. What a great group. Oh my God. It is my way to begin with prayer. Now, you've already said a lot of prayers, but I hope you don't mind another one. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ah, beloved Creator. Thank you for the incredible blessing of being here today in Chesapeake, Virginia. Thank you for this beautiful land. Thank you for the waters. Thank you for the lush green. Ah, beloved Creator, thank you for the light of the sun that gives us light, warmth, and energy. Thank you for the breathing aware air, the prana, the pneuma, the ruach, the spiritus. It has many names, but the air that we breathe in that connects us all. Thank you for the waters everywhere, the waters in outer space, the waters in the clouds, the waters under the earth, the waters in the rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans, the water in our heart that connects to the heartbeat of the land, connects to the heartbeat of other people we love, connects to the heartbeat of what nature wants to happen. And thank you, Pachamama, Mother Earth, that we're born from, that we return to. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you for the earthworm named after her mother that has no eyes but it can see, has no ears but it can hear. Thank you for the vibrations that the earthworm feels. Thank you. We love you, earthworm. We love everything in the earth, the nematode worms, the bacteria, even the viruses, germs. The germs germinate. That's how life is created. Germs germinate. Thank you. We ask that the viruses and bacteria be in balance so that it supports us, so that it lives within us in a beautiful way, in a harmonious, balanced way, and doesn't go out of balance, doesn't harm us, doesn't harm anything. Thank you for all the critters on Mother Earth. Thank you for the bear, the fox, the bobcat, the deer, the elk, every critter. And thank you for the birds that sing to us in the morning. They're really speaking, but we think of it as singing. Thank you to your sacred conversations. Thank you so much. Thank you for this group. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about From Politics to Love, a journey from fragmentation to wholeness. There is so much difficulty in the world today. There's a little bit of polarization. It's not like in here or everywhere. So we ask Creator that we be provided the wisdom, that we be a vessel for the wisdom that teaches us how to be loving and kind and patient and to listen deeply to everyone. Thank you so much. Aho mitaku yasen. Thank you. May it be so. Okay, so I want to begin with what is love? What is love? That's not the easiest question. We talk about it a lot. We say the word a lot, especially here in America. We say the word a lot, but in Native America, in Navajo, where I have a lot of friends in New Mexico, which is where I'm from, there really isn't a word for love. Now, there is a translation for I love you, but people say Anoshonene. It might be translated as I love you, but really that word is about respect. That word is about respect. It's about deep respect and honoring, a lot like what you were doing, everybody here, with Namaste. We honor the divine in you, honors the divine in me. That's really where the word kind of originates from in Navajo. In the West, there have been some beautiful stories about love, some very ancient old stories. Empedocles, you may have heard about this story. He talked about the 4 roots. Later on, people interpreted that as the 4 directions, and the 4 elements: light, air, water, earth. And really, for the ancient Greeks, it was about the rarefied air. The rarefied air. But for Empedocles, he was actually talking about gods and goddesses: Zeus, Hera, Nestis, Adonis. That's all he talked about, but it was interpreted later to be the 4 roots. But Empedocles said that those 4 roots were mediated by love and strife. And he actually said that originally, when the cosmos was being created, there was only these 4 roots and love. There was no strife. But ever since strife came in the picture, love begets strife and strife begets love. You know, this is what has been going on ever since. But it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And it's beautiful because it's love that unites the elements, that brings them all together. Strife is what separates the elements. And when they're separated, we don't feel as good. We don't feel as good. Love can cure everything. It can. It can. But we have to be careful. We can't throw around love too easily. You know, I learned from some of my indigenous friends that they're not always happy by the word love used toward them, because somebody using that love may not have known their story. So what I would say is the very first thing that we have to do is listen to another's story. Again, like the Namaste, you have to honor the other person exactly where they are, the other culture exactly where they are. And then amazing things can happen when you make that connection. When you make that connection. So Christopher's read the book, Original Politics. That book, the foundational premise of it is how strong an impact Native America made on the founding of this nation. Most people think that the United States was created out of Enlightenment values from that century. And it was, but it also was created out of Native American values. Liberty, equality, natural rights. Those things, I would contend, they were learned by the colonists who had been living here for 150 years before they formed a political nation. And I'm not talking about the early explorers. The early explorers were coming for centuries, but they turned around and came back. But in 1620, as everybody knows, the Mayflower Pilgrims came, and they brought women and children, so they were clearly intent on staying. And the Mayflower Pilgrims formed a very good partnership with the Wampanoag, which was a loose confederacy of various tribes in Plymouth area in Massachusetts. And for 55 years, they enjoyed a deep friendship and a military alliance. Now, in all honesty, not everybody got off scot-free. I mean, in the Wampanoag and the Mayflower Pilgrims, they joined together and they almost vanquished the Pequots. Do people know about the Pequots? Have you ever been just outside of New York City near Scarsdale? They have the world's largest casino now. Now, Donald Trump wasn't very happy about that when that casino started. And he said a lot of things like, oh, these Pequots, they don't look like Indians. Well, that was almost partially true, because they were nearly vanquished in 1636, and so to preserve their culture, they do look like a lot of Americans. There's a mixture of complexions. So in a strange way, it was a kind of form of poetic justice, but that's another story. It's not all a rosy story about the Pequots. But I would say that Native Americans really contributed an enormous amount to this culture, an enormous amount. It was Ben Franklin. I just came back from Philadelphia, by the way. I just came through Philadelphia. It's actually the first time I've ever been to Philadelphia. I was encouraged partly by Christopher. I grew up in New York. It's embarrassing to say that I never was in Philadelphia. It's terrible, right? Terrible, but I did. I went there. I saw the Liberty Bell. It is everything it's cracked up to be. You know, so I saw the Liberty Bell. I saw Independence Hall. It's all good. It's all good. I loved it. The place is dripping in history. It's great. And I love Ben Franklin. I love Ben Franklin not only because he was a really creative thinker. I have this theory, though. I'm not sure if he was as creative till he got just the right amount of lightning. I don't know. It might have taken him just to the perfect place where he got inspired. But Ben Franklin, you know, he had an interesting history. Everybody knows that he printed treaties. He was a printer, but he printed a lot of the treaties between Native America and the British government. And because of that, he got to know about Native American beliefs. Later on, he becomes a Pennsylvania assemblyman. And he actually lost his job. He got voted out of office because he kept taking the side of the Native Americans so often in his writing that the people actually objected. But that was a great gift of divine providence, because when he lost that job as Pennsylvania assemblyman, the next job he got was to be the ambassador, the Indian ambassador to the Haudenosaunee, or the Iroquois. That's what the name the French gave them. They call themselves Haudenosaunee, the people of the Longhouse. The people of the Longhouse started their own confederacy a very long time ago. Some estimates are 1132 AD. 1132 AD. And they started their confederacy because they were fighting amongst themselves. And in their story, a peacemaker came. A peacemaker came from outside of the tribe, not one of the tribe. This peacemaker, by the way, stuttered. He stuttered. I know this man, Bruce Johansson, who wrote a beautiful book about this, and he stutters. And when he came to visit the Haudenosaunee, they welcomed him with such open arms because, hey, he was like the peacemaker. But the peacemaker, partly because he stuttered, he wanted some delegates to spread that word of love. So he first found a woman named Jacotsina, and then later he found a man named Hiawatha, and he convinced all the tribes to unite, except one. There was a chief named Tadadado of the Onondaga, and his name, he actually had like Medusa. He had snakes in his hair. You know, he was like considered almost evil. He was really tough. He didn't want to unite. He didn't want to have peace, until the peacemaker realized that he needed to give this man a special responsibility. He gave him an added responsibility. He told him the Onondaga are going to be the executive branch. They're going to be in charge of things in some ways. He gave him a special responsibility, and also he was helped by Hiawatha. The name Hiawatha means the one who combs. And Hiawatha combs the snakes out of Tadadado's hair. And so the Iroquois unite, and they united by getting in front of a big tree. They partially uprooted the tree, and they buried all their weapons underneath the tree, and then they replanted the tree. That's where we get the phrase, bury the hatchet. You know, that's where it is. So they buried that there, and then the peacemaker took, let me use this for an example. He took one arrow, and he handed it to one of the tribal members, and then he took it back and he broke it over his knee. And then he reached behind him and got a sheaf of 5 arrows. And he did the same thing. The sheaf with the arrows connected together. He tried to break it over his knee. It did not break. And the message was that there's strength in numbers and strength in staying together. Later on, when Ben Franklin has this friendship with Chief Canastego, the Onondaga chief, Chief Canastego tells the colonies to unite, and this is on July 4th, 1744, exactly 32 years before the Declaration of Independence was signed. Chief Canastego tells the colonists, you must unite like the Iroquois have done. You must become the 5 fingers of one hand. You must never fall out with one another. You must support each and one of you together. Now, he took an arrow and gave it to Ben Franklin, took it back from Ben Franklin, and then reached behind him and took a sheaf of 13 arrows and tried to break it over his knee. It did not break. Ben Franklin never forgot that. The meaning was clear to all, and that's why Ben Franklin recommended that in the Great Seal of the United States, in the eagle's talon, there's the 13 arrows. It's balanced by the olive branch and the other talon. The eagle itself was from the Iroquois, also taken from the Iroquois. The great tree of peace, which they had buried their weapons underneath and had 4 sacred roots going in the 4 directions. That tree was, on top of it was an eagle. That symbol came from the Iroquois. So a lot of symbols, and the ideas of life, liberty, and natural rights came from the Iroquois. Now, and so we got off to an incredible start in this country, an incredibly good start. And for 50 years, everybody across the world understood that the United States of America was a partnership between European values of the Enlightenment and native values of life, liberty, and natural rights. And that's what everybody understood. Now, things changed. They changed when Andrew Jackson came along. How many know about Andrew Jackson? I'm really looking forward to when Harriet Tubman's on the $20 bill myself, because Andrew Jackson is not my favorite president. Andrew Jackson was the biggest force for ethnic cleansing that this country has ever seen. You know, he came into office 1828. He's the one who signs the Indian Removal Act. He's the one who first fought a war against the Creek. And then he went into Florida when Florida was not even Florida yet. And he fought a completely illegal war against the Spanish. But because Florida then got ceded to the United States, it was forgiven. Andrew Jackson was never prosecuted for any of that. And then he rounded up the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, and lastly the Cherokee, and he took them all out to Oklahoma, what's known as the Native Territories back then. And the interesting thing is he also rounded up free slaves and some unfreed slaves, and took them along with them, and that's why the complexion of this country changed right then, and particularly among the Cherokee. If you've noticed, the Cherokee can be of any complexion, from the whitest white to completely African American, because they all mix together. So an act of what I would say was kind of hate, can become love. This is partly one of the messages I want to bring. From politics and the politics of division, there can come love. We can move from the politics of division to love, and we have been doing that in this nation's history for the most part. Like Theodore Parker said, and Martin Luther King and Barack Obama like to reiterate, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. It bends toward justice. So in the biggest picture, we have been moving toward a more increasingly inclusive way. In the biggest picture. But that doesn't mean there isn't a lot of backlash, you know, and there has been backlash. But I will say to you that love is coming through. Love is going to win. Love always prevails. It always prevails. So, and thank you for this group, because you're pretty amazing. You're pretty amazing. And I would suggest this too, which I'm not sure whether you've brought this up in services here before, but I would suggest looking at love not in the human world, because this is the way I tend to look at it. I learned from the Hopi how much the waters, for instance, and I think of love as a lot to do with water. You know, we're so much water. Our heart is water. Our heart sends out its blood, its love to our capillaries, through our arteries, our capillaries, our veins. That's just like Mother Earth. Mother Earth is like that. When I was in Costa Rica, I had an awakening once. I realized I had this vision that I was a dolphin, and I dove down to the bottom of the ocean until right before I got to the bottom of the ocean, I realized I'm a river dolphin. I'm a river dolphin. I need to come back up and go toward the river. And I did. I went back toward the river, and consciousness, in this vision, the consciousness went way, way up into the upper atmosphere and started looking way down on this little dolphin there who's swimming out toward the river. And then I see like 5 other rivers. I was in Costa Rica then, and this is the way the rivers have so much energy, so much prana. And I saw all these rivers coming together at the ocean, and I felt Mother Earth's heart start to beat. And it was ecstatic. And I went back and I talked to Grandfather Leon Secatero, and he told me, that's good, Glenn. That's good, because that's why there's cardiovascular disease on this planet. We've dammed up too much of the rivers. That is, the rivers are Mother Earth's arteries, veins, capillaries. Can't dam them up. You've got to let them be free. And that's the way I tend to look at it. I also look at water like that. I look at the underground water. The underground water, when it is getting low, it sends love up to the clouds, and then that's what makes it rain. They're in communication. They're in communication all the time. The waters can never be separated. And you are the same. You guys, you can never be separated. Human beings can never be separated. We are all like that. We're 70% water. And that's a beautiful thing. So I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Much love to you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. Making America sacred again. I don't know if that's 20 minutes or not.
So let's get centered in our seats, put our feet on the ground for a moment. And let's take that love from Glenn's talk. Let's focus it in our heart. Imagine a brilliant, bright white light or golden light, whatever colored light you choose, centered right in your heart. Feel that love. Let us feel that wholeness. Let us feel the connection with one another. After all, there's just one of us in this room. Let us feel that connection and let us breathe in through that golden or white light in our hearts right now. Maybe take a deep breath or two. And as you do, feel the gratitude. Feel the gratefulness for Glenn, for the music group, for all of your brothers and sisters who are here in this place today, those watching on live stream, all the Unity churches, all the churches, our entire nation, the entire world. Let us breathe that love of connection, that wholeness through our hearts now. Feel that love now, coming in and going out. Breathe in, breathe out. Love in, love out. And so it is.
Spirit flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding. Well, one way we show our gratitude here as we give back to ourselves, and look at what we've built over these 25, 30 years here. It's an amazing thing. And I have to tell you, even though we're talking about offerings here at this moment, we just sent our packet out to Unity Worldwide Ministries. Yeah. So that packet is on its way with everything that is so great about us, which we already know. But why we are so attractive, and right from our hearts, it's not an egotistical thing to say. I mean, Glenn has felt the energy in the room today. We know the energy of Unity Renaissance. We know the history. We know our destiny, and we know we're going to attract the absolute perfect minister. We've got a great track record, and we're on our way. Our trajectory is this way. So thank you all for giving to this great ministry, which will be here long after we are back in the earth or on the waters or wherever our bodies may be at that time, because Unity Renaissance does have a sacred destiny, and we know that. So we want to just encourage you to share and be in that flow. And there are a lot of different ways you can give to this ministry. You can certainly write a check and put it in the basket in the back. I like to put my money in through my own banking system, and they send it right off to Unity Renaissance. There are many different ways, but the most fun way to give is to text to
540-418-1228. Text now. Take your smartphone or your check and place it in your hands and in your heart. And together, let's claim divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. I am grateful.
Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Give and it's given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, back in good measure. It's given back to you.
Here's Lily. Little song by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin. Do the right thing. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Looking out in the morning rain, wake up in the middle of a dream. One more chance to begin again. Do the right thing. I got no faith in the powers that be. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Looks like the change is up to me. Do the right thing. Take heart, take heart. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. Take heart, wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. Sins of the fathers dead and gone. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Bless their souls and carry on. Do the right thing. Call up the ones you trust the most. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Reverend Father, Holy Ghost, do the right thing. Take heart, wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. Take heart, wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. There's a greeting underneath the winter snow, and the feeling that we're guided as we go. There's a silver moon rising, nobody's keeping score. The difference doesn't matter anymore. Hearts of the hungry run from home. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Give them shelter, share the load. Do the right thing. Beyond the right, beyond the blood. Wake up in the middle of a dream. We gotta place our faith in the power of love. Do the right thing. Wake heart, wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. Take heart, wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. Take heart and do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing, y'all. That's Lily Scott.
Well, we love newcomers, so we'd like to welcome any of you who are here for the first time today. If you are here, don't be bashful. Raise your hand. We have a gift for you. There's a guy here in the front row. And Glenn, we just want to let you know that if you take that to the bookstore afterwards, you'll get another free gift. It may not be a trip to Orlando, but you never know. So it could be, it may even be better. Exactly. So let me start with this. Our first announcement here is a reminder for all of those who have signed up for the JCOC That's the Christian Outreach Center dinner, Judeo-Christian Outreach Center. Community dinner is coming up this Friday. That's July 28th. Food will be prepared in our kitchen. Just a reminder, if you are going to bring some food, bring it here no later than noon on Friday. It needs to be refrigerated. That's fine. We'll have that taken care of. Just make sure that it's placed where it needs to be. Please mark anything you bring JCOC. Volunteers for the Unity Kitchen should be here at 2 p.m. this Friday. Volunteers for JCOC should be here at 5 p.m. this Friday. There are still some sign-ups available, so check it out on the hall wall, or sign up Genius. Thank you, Genius. There we go. To see what we still need for this to be a success. And if you have any other questions, please see Lynn Klein with any questions. She just wants to express her gratitude for all of us. There she is. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. So workshops, cool things happening, stimulating our mind, parenting, perfectly imperfect. What a great title, right? So a workshop by Dr. Shafiq Aneen is going to be presented on August 6th at 1 p.m. So come on over and get some great information from a phenomenal, individual who's here to teach us.
Yes. He's also on the search committee, too. Cool. Dr. Mead. There he is. Okay, New Member Sunday is coming August the 13th. Path to Discovery is the 2-hour class that is required to become a member of Unity Renaissance. If you want to become enrolled, engaged in the community, you want to vote, etc. Anyone who would like to know more about Unity and the roots in our teachings, that again is August the 31st. The class times are 11 a.m. on Saturday, August the 5th. That's live only. And then 6:30 p.m. Monday, August the 7th. That's Zoom only. And then, of course, New Member Sunday will be the following Sunday, August the 13th.
I don't have to take both classes. The other. Okay. Someone asked me that last week.
Okay. So just one class. But do it. Then you get to be in even more, okay, 2-hour class, and you get to be an even more integral part of the Unity family. So come join us officially. Summer Wellness Series. There are awesome things going on here, and it is heating up in August and September. So we have new modalities, new practitioners who are offering classes Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. There's a multitude of different things going on. I saw some of the flyers for, Tai Chi, there's yoga, but there are also new things being added throughout these next few months. So check out your app or check out the unityrenaissance.org website to find out which people are offering their treasures and their talents, for our enjoyment.
And our sizzling summer Sundays are here in the hot month of August. On the 6th, we've got Hot Dog Sunday, brought to you by the Mighty Men of Unity. August 3rd, there you go. August 13th, Italian Ice Sunday. Or as my mother-in-law used to say, Italian Ice Sunday. And I was half Italian, but it didn't matter. Unity Sisterhood is going to be sponsoring that one. Then on the 20th of August, we have our Watermelon Sunday. The music team is bringing that to us. Thank you, music team. And August 27th, our Ice Cream Sunday, where all board members love to get their hands all sticky with vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. And we'll be serving that your board of trustees will be serving that up on that Sunday.
So speaking of board of trustees, during the ministerial search time frame, there will be a board of trustee member available after each Sunday service to answer any Unity Renaissance related questions you have, about the ministerial process, about anything church related. So today our person is Gail Boynton. Would you please stand up?
There she is.
So Gail will be available either here in the sanctuary or out in the narthex, so find her if you have questions, and she can update you on what's going on. Also, I've found that the weekly newsletter, the news blast that's coming out, the Board of Trustees is doing a phenomenal job at keeping us all up to date with what's going on. So kudos to all of the board, and make sure you read your weekly newsletter, because then you'll be in the know.
Yeah, and Jolene and Valerie Winters, you know, serving on both the board and on the search committee, double time. So
Awesome.
extra scoop of ice cream for them last week.
Extra scoop.
Last week.
You can have extra Italian ice too.
Oh yes, I'm getting to that. But thank you though. I'm going to save the best for last. Join us next week also for a very special All Together Now. That's going to feature our youth and our diversity here at Unity. So come to the service next week. That will be featuring all generations here at Unity Renaissance. And yes, first off, thank you so much, Glenn, for that inspiring talk today. Really wonderful. Sacred ground. And Glenn will be giving his workshop at 1 o'clock today. He does an awesome job. You're just going to walk away with so much. The cost is $25. No one is turned away. Glenn has brought his talking stick, so if you have a couple of words you want to share back with him, talking shaft, well, you can give us the right nomenclature when we're there. And when you come to the class, you're going to get the right nomenclature. But join us. That will start right after snacks, right at 1 p.m., right here in the sanctuary. So the kids are out swimming today, right?
They are. I heard they're having tons of fun out there. So
right. We used to call it Super Soaker Sunday. What are we calling it now?
I don't know, but that's good.
But they're out there soaking themselves. So let's stand together, folks, and let's do our prayer of protection together. Glenn, come on up. There we go. Very good. All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us.
And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment